Trying out something new. I hope we don't notice. Actually, we should probably confirm as usual that our microphone is where it ought to be. Microphone 85. Yep, we're still doing good. Gonna be running at my higher resolution today and outputting to the lower resolution. Hopefully that will be enough to resolve the frame rate issues when we did sparkly things. We'll try and run a test, but I think we needed a pretty big sparkly showing. What am I doing again? I'm changing the UI scale. I'll swap back to Paladin too, because Paladin's got the biggest sparklies. Make as much flash as we can. Holy Circle, think this one's pretty glittery? Yeah, there we go. That's enough particle effects maybe to cause some grief. Anyway, that little technical aside, welcome back. Alpha No, we journey to the homeland of the dragons, Erwin. The scholar within me burns to see the sights I have been read about, as does the child within me, I confess. Be on your guard, warrior of light. With the mistress of the heretics as our guide, we may yet find that we are being led to our graves. Now, Izael, I don't believe we've gotten to do a voice for yet, which is wild, because it means that she has not gotten a single unvoiced line so far, because I've had the voice for her in my mind for a long time. It's nothing special, just one we haven't done before. The chocobos roam. Excuse labored breathing. My breathing is labored today, and has been for a few days. It sucks. Alright, you ready for this? Your long point, yes. Pray dress me as Izael if you wish. 'Tis passing strange, is it not? The fate should bring us thus together. Never did I think to walk alongside the warrior of light. But history is full of such unexpected alliances. Hush. I thought I already hushed you. No. Gotta use the right mute button. Shall we make our way into Dravania then? The chill of the western highlands is unrelenting, and I would sooner be under the sheltering canopy of the Chocobo forest. It's a pretty anodyne name for a place this far out into the wilds. I guess this place was not always wilderness, right? There was a time it had been claimed by more than one civilization, once by dragons, then by dragons and elves. And then, genocidally by the elves alone until the events of the calamity. Let's get moving. I think if we're lucky, there should be some big particle effects in our future, although I guess we're really gonna need a clusterfuck encounter to see it for sure, right? Ooh, I never thought I'd see past the spine.
The continent of Aldenard from east to west. Into the deepening shadows of some
Is the continent Aldenard or the continent was Eorzea?
Dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers.
Oh right, Aldenard is the mainland mass. Eorzea is that plus some islands. More floating stone. I guess people are just used to that in this. Whoa! Why were we in the air? Did we zone on horseback high in the air? That's incredible. I didn't know I could do that. I wish we died. That would have been a great way to greet the sun out here. Justinian, my boy. Do you sense them, Long Point? A gathering of dragons to the west. Really? Well, hang on. Trying to... We got the HDR turned on, but I think Final Fantasy XIV may just be too dark for it. Except when it's not super dark. Well, we were using it yesterday though, right? I think we were. Alfino. This forest was mentioned in the pages of the New Eorzean Geographic. As I recall, the author advised travelers to give the local chocobos a wide berth. According to her, they can be remarkably aggressive. Well, let's avoid that then. We now stand on the threshold of Dravania. The path to Somal will take us far to the west beyond the embrace of the forest branches. It will be a long and demanding journey. Might I suggest that we take our rest at the village up ahead and see that we are properly provisioned? There's a village here, but I thought the land's the sole domain of dragonkind. Why would anyone choose to live in so perilous a place? The wild chocobos. Tailfeather was built by hunters who make their living capturing and selling the beasts. Their leader, Marchand, is an acquaintance of mine. Being a gregarious sort, he will no doubt welcome our arrival, and he will also possess more recent knowledge of the road we seek to travel. I trust there are no objections. Only to this ceaseless chatter. If we are to meet this acquaintance of yours, let us do this before Ishgard burns. That can be arranged. I wish my breathing were improved. I'm feeling, I bet if I had a fucking albuterol inhaler, it could help. But alas, I have not had one for a long time, something I gotta deal with a doctor probably. It'd be pretty bad to have an asthma attack right now. Cause, oh, they just got some frame drop in the client itself, which is not a great sign. Wasn't too severe though. Marchand. Well, damn my hide and call me Leatherface. We have visitors. Oh, and if it ain't the lovely Zayla, it's been too long, girl. 30 days, Marchand. Damn it. My companions and I are on a pilgrimage to Zomal. Might we stay in Tailfeather a while and prepare for the next leg of the journey? Of course, stay as long as you like. In fact, I wouldn't suggest leaving the forest at all. The dragon's been absolutely bleeding murderous of late. Forgive me, sir, but I'm not sure I understand. Do the dragons not bother you here in the forest? Big sneeze. Bother us? Did Azela not explain things to you, boy? You've seen him tower and kalium trees all about, haven't you? You were flying above the canopy, you'd barely be able to see the ground. And as you'd expect, the local wildlife's canny enough to stay hidden beneath the leaves, which is why the dragons do their hunting elsewhere and we can do ours in peace. I see. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome. Now, I know I won't stop Azela here. The dragons ain't the only things you'll need to keep an eye out for, especially if you're set on heading west. The deed is done. The chocobos wrung out. What time is it? It's like 3:30? Oh, it's 4. Damn. Time ticking onward. I've had a pleasant enough morning, though. Nothing wasted. I've read widely of the world and its wonders, yet after taking but a few steps into the unknown, I am reminded of how much I still have to discover. I'm glad to see Marchand is doing well. These hunters scrabble in the shadow of dragons for nobody love of coin. Greed inspires courage and madness in equal measure, it seems. Worse than dragons. I dare say you're wondering what could possibly be worse than dragons, eh? Well, I'll tell you. The bloody Ganath. They're what you might get if you crossed an antling with a megalocrab and taught the thing how to walk on 2 legs. They'd never used to stray far from their hives out of fear of the dragons, but they've gotten a lot more aggressive of late, sending out war parties from Malms in all directions. They've even taken to harassing the Dravanians in their own lairs, if you can believe it. And when they venture into the forest, which is more and more, by the way, they certainly ain't afraid to come after my lot. I can only imagine how much worse it'd be closer to Ganath's home territory. What else you got to say? Now listen here, son. If you're heading on west, you best keep your ears peeled for the angry clicks of Ganath mandibles, or you'll find yourself staring into a set. Let's swap our HUD, incidentally, to 4, and let's adjust 4 again. Let's bring hotbar 4 up here, and let's shrink it way down, because I actually do kind of like having just our straight-up base rotation visible, because I tend to get lost in that. Not that it matters, but it feels good to do them right. Let's change its style as well to the 3x4. Save that. Oh, shit. Nope, it's not where we want it to be anymore. Are you visible, my friend? I'm not sure if yeah, you're visible now. Let's just keep that small and out of the way as much as possible. And what's our base combo again? Well, we don't need Fast Blade on there, of course. We just need Riot Blade. Put you on pause while I sort this. There we go. So, now listen here, son. If you're set on heading west, you best keep your ears peeled for angry clicks of Ganath mandibles, or you'll find yourself staring into a set. I've read widely of the world. Greedy for coin. Izela, what have you got to say? Is it Izela or Izela? Did you say it out loud? I don't remember. It would seem that much has changed in Dravania. The Gnath would not want to cause such strife when I lived here. You lived here, in Dravania? It was in the time following the calamity. My family was dead, my home was gone. I'd fled from the bitter cold into these lands. I knew not the paths of the forest then, and wandered out from under the protection of its boughs. That was when I chanced upon Rizvelgar. He descended from his mountain lair to hunt for food. My exhausted mind could not contend with the sight of the majestic worm, nor the vision of the past his presence visited upon me. Thankfully, Master Sean found my unconscious form at the edge of the... I forgot what she was there. Found my unconscious form at the edge of the trees, and nursed me back to health. And in Tailfeather I've remained for some time. Hence your familiarity with the locals, but I interrupted you. You were saying these Gnath were once a peaceful people. Peaceful would not be the most fitting description. They are a fiercely territorial tribe, and any who intrude upon their domain are attacked without hesitation or quarter. Outside the borders of their homeland, however, they were rarely hostile. Indeed, we were even able to trade with them on occasion. They have changed, then. What of it? We have not the time to creep through the underbrush on some roundabout route. I say we make straight for Somai, and crush all on must be some owl. And crush any unruly insect we meet underfoot. A more direct path, then. Very well. Let us first follow the trail west out of the forest and make for the statue of the Stained One. From there, we should have a fair view of the road that leads to Somau, shall we? Let's do it. Now listen here, son. The Traveling Merchant. Really respect and admire voice actors for their ability to hold libraries of characters in their heads. As we've seen, my capacity to do that extends to like 5 silly voices and like 5 accents. Which isn't nothing, and I mean, I do think of myself as a narrator first. A single voice. I mean, ain't as much as... Obviously, I don't think of myself as a narrator at all. I'm just some goof, but that is the skill that I am using here, is the skill of narration, not of voice acting. Yeah, frames dropping a little bit. Goodbye, friends. So those are bug people. We didn't really get a good look at them. Proceed to the Stained One. Defeating any foes who stand in your way. Well, they didn't stand in our way long, did they? It's a Bandersnatch. Girl, you looking frumious. Where are we headed? Man, it's quite dark out here. These highly distinct nights are a delight. Click, click. This land is ours. This land is ours. Yeah, they probably speak in like that clicking tone, right? They have chittering, chitinous voices. Hard to do that very loud. But then again, when is anything we ever do loud? Destination? I didn't have to wait for 20 seconds? Weird. Weird. I wonder if it's like spinning up and anyway. Should we chance to meet Master again, remind me to thank him. Had he not warned us to expect the Gnath, I doubt I would be standing here. I wouldn't have let you die, kiddo. Amid ruins that I would tentatively describe as Ishgardian, the style, if not quite identical, betrays a definite resemblance. You have a scholar's eye, Master Alfino. The structure is, in fact, over 1,000 years old. It is a remnant of the age when our ancestors and dragonkind lived together in peace. You claim this as evidence of our harmonious past? I was taught that these buildings were constructed by heretics in honor of your Dravanian master. This rebel inspires no such awe in me. Stubborn fool, how desperately you cling to the false teachings of your beloved Holy See. Enough, both of you. You threaten the success of our mission with this incessant squabbling. Erwin, pray reason with these two. The truth of the past will be revealed, let's say that. Somebody's gonna figure out what's right here. And, you know, this is not any kind of centrism. Radical action is required. It should be taken in full knowledge of the truth. These two people are people who, shaped by their lives, are inclined to believe one thing or another. We should be certain of ourselves before we move. I mean, we could honestly just go decapitate the head of the church right now and everyone would be happier, but anyway. Quite. Lest you forget, our goal is to prevent a war which will claim the lives of Dravanians and Ishgardians alike. If we are to accomplish this, you must learn to tolerate each other's presence. Trust in Erwin's gift. In time, the secrets of history will be brought to light. Let that be enough, Estinian. You would have me keep my counsel until Aaron's visions, he would say, until the Long Point's visions confirm the truth? Very well, but bet me not. Our meeting with Resvelger will likely provide the catalyst Long Point's gift requires, as he did mine. Let us press on. It does seem likely. I quite like the dynamic here, where they've stuck us with one group of people who are kind of have a developing relationship between each other. They're each going through kind of dark night of the soul. Alphino has had his confidence shaken recently. Now he's going off to be an independent person. He's relying on his own material skills instead of social skills to exact change in the world. Dragons in the sky and Ganath upon the ground. One must needs sprout eyes in the back of one's head to survive in this land. Estinian is traumatized, as we wouldn't even know if we hadn't done the Lancer quest line, so I'm very glad we did. He's quite reasonably traumatized by being a child victim of the war with the dragons, and he is unable to see past that. Just as Americans traumatized by 9/11 going out and doing genocides in everywhere else in the world. You can understand why, but that doesn't make it okay. These ant-men are bold to bring their war to the dragon's doorstep. Maybe we should invite them to demand the wars of Ishgard. I kind of doubt that they'd have them. The Trine Towers. Approach to survey the approach to the distant towers. Spy the three great towers to the west. Ishgardians know them as Anix Trine. The place serves as a ruse for Resvelger's lesser kindred. If we are to reach the peak of Somal, we must first beseech these dragons to open the way, but do not be disheartened. The one who leads them is a friend. Of rather more concern is the disposition of the Gnath. Let us survey the approach to the towers and see if the path is clear. Sure, I'll just hop on my Ponus. Would not be able to fly here if not for that $50 we wisely dropped. Oh wow. So the great cloud banks that are depicted in Final Fantasy XIV skyboxes are always just top tier. They're so good. I'm reminded a little bit of, I believe it was, what's the zone called? What's the sort of nice zone where the Maghar live in World of Warcraft in Outland? Oh man, I'm very glad that Blizzard is fireworking because I could see myself going and playing Classic in Burning Legion or Wrath. And I don't really want to. I don't really have the time for that shit. It'd be fun, but I think it would also be just kind of tiring. And much like Final Fantasy XIV, it would weigh on me as a thing that I should be doing. But it's also like, it would not be a novel experience the way Final Fantasy XIV soon will become. Estinian. It would seem the enemy of mine enemy is also mine enemy. The Gnath are fast becoming a nuisance. They seem to plague our every step. It is as I feared. The road ahead is teeming with Gnath soldiers. Marichon did not exaggerate then. These beastmen have grown brazen indeed if they would threaten the dragon so openly. Do they intend to assault the lair itself? I pray they do not. Mighty though my Ravanian friends are, they are yet vulnerable to the Gnath's muskets. There is no route save for one before us. Should the beastmen offer battle, we have no choice but to accept. Well, let's take that battle up. I'm for it. I got nothing to fear. I'm functionally indestructible. Emotionally, you know? I sent... Oh, hang on, delivery. Sorry about that. It was an older lady carrying a bunch of heavy drinks up to my flat. I feel very bad about this. I would love for COVID to end, if only so that I can help delivery drivers carry shit up to my home in more security. Because, was that a fate? Damn it, I would have loved to do it. How about, fellas, all will belong to us. All will belong to us. Yeah, we were doing that voice for something kind of like it for one of the characters in Persona, right? There's that character in Bloodlines who talks kind of like this, who's, A greater dragon approaches. The scale of this structure is nothing short of astounding. But that is only to be expected, I suppose, given the size of its occupants. I take no pleasure in killing the Gnath. 'Twas to avoid bloodshed that I agreed to join you on this journey. Well, it cannot be helped. We may proceed into the courtyard together, but leave the task of hailing its occupants to me. Should we try a falsetto for this? And keep your lance on your back, Dragoon. On my word to the warrior of light, I shall start no fight. Only finish it. Oh, wait, that was Justinian. On my word to the warrior of light, I shall start no fight. Only finish it. You truly are beyond salvation. Come then. Is that falsetto? I don't know what constitutes falsetto, vocally speaking. As in so many things, I am unstudied. I could tell you a fair bit about German language. I could tell you the basics about Mandarin. But even then, my understanding of those things is not all that structural. They should say your name, because I can't remember what your name is, how it's pronounced. The landing is so good, the way the weight of them is really conveyed in a way that is often difficult to manage.
Ah, 'tis thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a Gnath. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash.
She literally said you look like bugs from up there.
Dear Vidofnir, how I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity.
Thou art troubled. Speak that I might know thy plight. Thou wouldst have father admonish his brood brother.
I would end this war without further bloodshed.
I hope it's established if Estinian can hear the dragon talk or not, or if that's echo stuff.
When thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye.
Just hand it over, dude. We don't need one superhero.
Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours.
Holy shit, Estinian. Chill the fuck
You
out.
forget
What a
yourself, sir.
fucking
We are
dick.
here on a mission of peace.
I think he's remembering himself.
My sires will forbiddeth me from inviting discord to our home. 'Tis for this reason and no other that thou still drawest breath, knight.
Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Hraesvelgar in person, with words of our own choosing. Grant us this favor, and open the way to Som Al.
Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here and protect my kin from the Gnath's god.
The Gnath have summoned a primal.
Whoa, that sounds like our problem. Oh, there's water sounds coming from my home.
Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izel's request?
Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task? To succeed where dragons have failed?
I mean, I'm pretty good at it. I'm as expert as they come. Dragons, you probably just haven't tried.
But thou art welcome to try, nonetheless. Only know that
Maybe it's actually raining.
promises shall avail thee naught.
Oh yeah, I think it's raining. It just sounds like it's weird. It's not leaking into my home, is it? Wasn't paying adequate attention to that cutscene. I should
It would seem we
rewatch
have
it.
no choice but to make good on Alphino's offer.
We're gonna kill the bug.
Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war?
Well, you know the sequel to the This Is Fine Dog, where he says this is not fine. How did we let it get this bad for this long? That's the world that we live in. People have been letting it get bad for long. Alphino. Once more a primal rears its head, and once more the task of slaying it falls to you. Would that I too possess the echo. By the fury, must we now defeat a primal that we might treat with a worm? I do begin to see how you gained your reputation for surmounting the insurmountable. As loathsome as Estinian is, he is not that is really beautiful. The way dawn is stretching across the landscape here, that's wild. 1 second, I'm gonna take a screenshot. I probably have paused the recording, don't you think? Wild. Okay, where are we? Izela. Gifts for the outcast cast. So yeah, it's raining. So, the Gnath have summoned their god, and thus is the mystery of the newfound belligerents laid to rest. Are you not glad, Lydia Sart? I thought you would applaud them for summoning a primal to fill their own ends. After all, you did. I did not reach out to Saint Shiva to further my own ends. I desired their strength only to forge anew the peace between man and dragon. Oh, what a fool I am to speak of peace to you, a bloodthirsty savage who murders without thought or compunction. Enough, I say. If the Gnath have truly brought forth their deity from the ether, we must face it now, or watch our hopes fall apart. Face it together. All now rests upon this primal's defeat. But ere we think of confronting it, we must first study its origins. What is the nature of this god? What manner of faith sustains its existence? My apologies, you are right, of course. Let us return to Tailfeather and consult with Marsa Sham. He knows more of the Gnath and their culture than most. Hey, it's Toei Thra. Beer, Logthon, Bandersnatch, I will feast on them all when I am a dragon grown. Senito, what have you got to say? A child of man enters annexed shrine. Interesting. Who are you? I am Senito. My brothers and sisters are as one under Isvelger. We purge this place of all who bear us ill will. We seek quiet and calm. Those who deny us will be met with fangs and claws. Heed me, mortal. Should you disturb the peace of our home, we will know. What kind of place is this? Annexed Shrine is the work of man in ages past, but man has long forgotten the fruits of his labor. The origins of Annexed Shrine are not our concern. These grounds are silent. They suit our needs. Annexed Shrine is our home now. Surely you'd remember, though, your ancient dragons. Or I guess they do know, and they just don't care. It is a matter of indifference to them. Though this place was built by our hated enemy, let's just check out the Aetheryte real quick, since we would have to touch it. This is a very Final Fantasy Origins kind of a room. Whoa, what was that? It's hailing, I think. Without wings, you must take this passage to scale the tower. Above you will find more of my kin, but beware the Cave of Morn. I'll take care not to get caved on. Did we speak to our companions already? I think we did. Or are they? Oh, there we go. Just got a flood warning. Yeah, the flash floods are pretty fucking awful. Well, I haven't collected my groceries from the porch yet. I actually just teleport back over there, huh? Zoop. But, maybe I should do the light teleport, huh? Here we go. I didn't do that because I wanted a nice clean teleport cut. God damn it. I wonder how loud that is on the mic. Looks like it is being picked up, but it won't start things. Well, Priorfe. Oh, he's cute. Fuck. I thought he was here. Look at the sheen in these feathers and the strong, sturdy legs. They'll make me some good coin to the market, I'll wager. You're not gonna eat him, are you? Thunder. You hear that recording? Do you hear the thunder roll? I'm surprised my buddies didn't beat me here for once. Malsachon. Oh god. There's that storm warning coming through on another device. God damn it. No, stop autoplaying. Just auto... Summon to primal, you say? 7 hells. Well, I don't know bugger all about Ganath's religion, if I'm honest. Beyond their trading habits, they never seemed much point in asking. But it shouldn't be that hard to find out. From time to time, we barter with a small hive to the north and west of here. Outcasts from the main tribe, from what I understand. I reckon they'd be willing to give you a bit about themselves, if you give them the right incentives. That sounds promising. What exactly would a Ganath consider the right incentives? Holy shit, you hear that? Wild shit. Oh, nothing your average hunter couldn't scrounge up in a day or two, but seeing as you're in a hurry, you might want to divide the chores amongst yourselves. You want a good-sized jar of land-trap nectar, a basket of kalium tree fruit, and always a Ganath favorite, a generous portion of young. No, a generous portion of young Nanka flesh. I shall gather the fruit. Leaping to the lower branches to the forest giants should present little challenge to me. Then I shall collect the nectar with Master Alfino's arcane assistance. And that leaves you to bring home the meat. You'll need to carve it from the smaller Nankas that live in the rivers. 3 big hunks should be enough, I reckon. Once you got everything together, you'll need to set it down at what we call the trading post. Here, I'll mark the spot on your map for you. You have been most kind, Master Marchand. Well then, let us attend to our respective tasks and reconvene at the trading post. I need hardly add that the last one there is a rotten Nanka egg. Oh, Alphino, you big goofball. I can't stay mad at you, Alphino. What do you got to say, Marchand? You're in charge of gathering the Nanka flesh, right? Holy shit, you'll find the beasts down by the riverbanks. Just be sure to avoid the bigger ones carrying unhatched spawn on their backs. Reckon 3 good hunks ought to do it. As soon as you got them, head over to the trading post marked on your map and add them to your mate's offerings. Simple. Just go away to make them seem useful, to give us a task that seems like it should be 3 tasks, and then condense it down into 1. I wonder if we'll need to intervene in one of them. That would be a reasonable way to do storytelling. Actually, I guess the smart thing to do would be to have, since they have hostilities among one another, to have them intervene for one another. Classic coming together as a team moment. Estinian gets stuck in a tree. The Israel Fire Department has to come and pull him down. His inner Mikote is revealed. The colors of this zone are much more autumnal with the HDR turned off. With them turned on, I mean, I guess it's a sort of autumn, but it's like a super bright, like Disney Channel autumn. Estinian, what have you got to say? When I set out to master the Quing's jump, it was not to strike fear into the arts of high-hanging fruit. And yet, Master Alfino possesses a rare talent for the arcane arts. Should he continue to apply himself to their study, he will become a formidable mage in time. I was able to gather a goodly amount of nectar from the land traps, though I would not have known how to harvest it without Izela's help. Do you have the Nanka meat? The tender tail meat of an underdeveloped Ninki Nanka. Boom! Splendid. I shall put this with Estinian's fruit and assemble a suitably generous-looking hamper for the Ganath. Gifts for the outcasts. Alfino. The non-mind. The non-mind? Ooh, that's a spooky name. Well, everything appears to be in order. Assuming no one has any objections to my choice of presentation, I shall place our offerings at the trading post as instructed. Were I of the Ganath, I think I would be suitably impressed. Well, how long must we wait? Should we have sounded a signal or some such? I kind of think we were supposed to back away, not just stand there, right? It seemed like that was... Come yourself, Master Fino. Our offering has not gone unnoticed. The boys. Long has it been since hunters last came to trade, bearing gifts that filled the air with such delightful scents. Land trap nectar, calum tree fruit, and nanka flesh. What delectable foods you have brought for us. Our meager existence is much enriched by your bounty. Come, hunters, come to our hive if you would trade. Cramped and stifling our homes are, but the rancid incense keeps the dragons at bay. What is this, bloodborne? Cramped. Stifling. And horribly smelly. But better to live in stench than be cracked and crunched by dragon jaws, yes? Come, come, it is not far. Very well, little bugs. We can come. Take a look at the hive. Oh, y'all got anything more to say? Got any thoughts on the bugs? Strangely friendly, are they not? I mean, I'm just strange. Can those truly be Gnath? Were it not for their appearance, I would think them wholly unrelated to the savage creatures that attacked us on the road. Well, they didn't stop to talk to us. These Gnath seem harmless enough, almost jovial even. I would prefer, though, that we conclude our business with them as soon as possible. Deal. I'm in a hurry to get moving, too, you know. You're not the only one, Zayla. For vous, Zayla. Vathar, doesn't you got anything to say? Oh, you got shit to sell, or at least buy, or repair? Your presence has been announced to the storyteller. We must speak to our chosen leader in words, for we are Vath. We are the non-mind. So they would use telepathy, but they've been disconnected from the network. Oh, wait, hang on, I didn't read that one. The storyteller awaits you. If you wish to trade, then it is to him that you must speak. The Hungerer. The Gnath of the One Mind. Every day they eat the same thing. They eat the same bland paste. They have no idea of all the yummy, delicious foods in the world. Once I was of the One Mind. Now I am Cible Roi. Why Cible Roi? Why not? Cible is target in French. Roi, I don't think with a T is anything. R-O-I, of course, is king. Talk to me, storyteller. What have you got to say? Welcome to our hive, hunters. You have brought delicacies much sought after by our people, and we are much pleased. What would you have in return? Honored Elder, pray allow me to begin by thanking you for welcoming us into your home, and for accepting our humble offerings. My companions and I are come in search of knowledge, specifically knowledge of your people's god. Knowledge alone. What strange hunters you are. But if it is words you desire, then words you shall have. We are the Vath, the non-mind, and to speak is our fate. You will hear the tale of the Gnath's god, of the god the One Mind summoned into our midst. The One Mind. These are the Gnathos who reside in the main colony. Geez, stumbling over everything today. Yes, they are one, connected. But let us begin the story at its beginning. Some moons ago, a single dragon flew in from the east, bleeding and weak. It fell from the sky and into the hive, where it was swarmed by my brethren. And with spear and spell and musket, the dragon was slain. 'Twas likely one that had fled battle for my kinsman. I should commend you for finishing the job. Well, you know, Dragons are fierce and terrible adversaries. The One Mind would always cower when their winged shadows passed over the ground, but no longer. They had learned that a battle-weary Dravanian was easy prey. Thus did the Overmind decide to heed the words of the black-robed men. The One Mind would call forth our god and unleash his blades upon the dragons. Dravanian lands would become Ganath lands, and even larger would grow our domain. But our god ever hungers. The price he demands in crystals far exceeds the rewards of this war. We of the Vath despise and revile his insatiable existence. Spooky, spooky, spooky. I wonder if the ones in the hive mind can't be branded, though. We Vath work together and live in freedom. I pity the One Mind that they know not the beauty of freedom. Nothing else from the storyteller? Yeah, there we go. We are the non-mind. The whispers of thought are grown silent, and with our voices aloud we must speak. Of necessity then a storyteller was chosen. A Ganathic deity. I should just look around instead of going straight for my map, huh? The beast tribes have ever summoned their gods out of necessity. That the Ganath should do so out of mere covetousness, that's a worrying precedent. Even a wounded dragon is a dangerous opponent. These ant-men did well to overpower one. And the problem is my eyes jump around and I like parse it and patch in bits from later in the phrase. I call upon the power of a primal for the greater good, conscious all the while that I do so at grave cost to the land. I reason that it is a necessary evil and willingly shoulder the burden of my sin. In suggesting that such crimes can be justified, you may argue that I presume too much, but you must surely see that I am aware of the magnitude of my transgressions. Not so the Gnath. They summon their deity for no greater purpose than to expand their dominion. To a sign of the seventh dawn, one sworn to eliminate the primal threat, the distinction you draw seems questionable at best. But the fact remains that my own grandfather risked unleashing the power of the 12 in an attempt to prevent the calamity. Thus, while I may not condone your actions, at least understand them. Not so the Ganath, as you rightly put it. If they truly seek naught but territorial gain, I can only conclude that they are ignorant of the ruinous consequences of their god's insatiable appetite. The longer the primal is suffered to exist, the greater the suffering it will cause. It must be destroyed. I lightly propose the destruction of this god, Master Alfino, a being of whom we know not. Is it occurred to you that I may be sending the warrior of light to his death? No, You have the right of it, Estinian. It would seem it is I who am guilty of presuming too much. Pray forgive me, Erwin. Hey, no, do it. I do not fear my duty. He gets it. Wait, Longpoint need not face this foe alone. Like him, I am blessed with the Echo's protection and may do battle without fear of primal influence. Let me bear this burden. Do you truly imagine yourself a second warrior of light? Remind me, how many primals have you— oh, this is Estinian. I was like, this is jerkish for Alphino. Do you truly imagine yourself a second warrior of light? Remind me, how many primals have you faced, my lady? Not that it matters. We know not where this god resides, how to challenge it. Unless you mean to pray until it appears? Estinian makes a valid point. Let us speak with the Vath and learn how best to secure an audience with their deity. This, at least, I may be of some assistance. Advanced mathematics. The young lord certainly appears eager to prove his worth. No, Estinian. If I didn't know how your hair looked under there, I might dislike you less. Once our boys got to say, there must be some way of infiltrating the main colony. The Vet greet mine every question with cryptic utterances. I fear I am no closer to understanding the tenets of their faith. Oh, he was just selling shit, right? Or... By the Fury, I would swear these beastmen know less about their god than I do. Seems likely. I guess we're doing questioning of our own. Cible roi. One moment. Alright, that was a bit of a break. Probably be pausing to do a little bit of writing in between here. Shouldn't have much impact on the recording. We are Vath. We are the non-mind. We do not hear the one mind's thoughts. We cannot predict their will. The same thing again, huh? Okay, how about the Fleetfoot? Put this idea from your minds, generous hunters. If you meet with our god, then he will have your souls. Surely you are not so generous as that. You wish to meet our god? Offer yourself as a sacrifice, and you will soon be brought before him. We would mourn the loss of such generous hunters, however. That wasn't very instructive, the voracious Vath. You are generous hunters, yes. Many gifts you have brought, but not enough for all Vath to enjoy. Maybe you could bring us just one more. We are very fond of Nanka flesh. Yes, the meat of a young Nanka would make a fine repast. Guess it's back to the Nanka mills. We're gonna dig all the Nankas out of this hill. Soon the town will collapse, and with no plan for subsidy for the displaced workers, the Nankaless Vath will find themselves roaming ever closer to Ishgard. This is how we head off international conflict. Although surely the wealth of this nation could be extended to all of those living in its sphere of influence. I kinda doubt it. Seems weird not to know anything about your neighbors. Then again, I guess it is fantasy. And in fantasy, you can just have a population that exists in one area and nowhere else, doing its own thing, and it doesn't have any kind of spread to it, didn't come from anywhere. Everybody still have the same things to say? What were they saying last? The Vath tell me their tribe is not accustomed to giving each individual a name. Seems they only grasped the concept after they began trading with the hunters. And what has that to do with their primal or their faith, Master, if you know? Let us glean the information we require and be done with this place. For once I am in agreement with the Dragoon. Speaking with these beastmen is an exercise in frustration. Yes, I suppose it would be, if that's how you view them. We Vath do enjoy our Nanka flesh. Have you been out hunting yet? Tender meat tail, yep, same one. Another gift for the Vath, so unexpected. Yes, you will have more of the words you strange hunters hunger for. Listen now. The senses of the one mind are enmeshed by the overmind. What one sees, all see. What one feels, all feel. Alert a single Ganath and the whole hive is alerted. To reach our god undetected is all but impossible. Well, that doesn't give me cause for optimism. That sounds like it might be difficult to deal with. The Vather want to allude to certain concepts without explanation, but I believe I'm beginning to grasp a few of the fundamentals. From what I understand, the king-like overmind sits at the center of Ganath society, and its presence somehow allows for its subjects to communicate without need of word or gesture. These Nath, the ones who inhabit the larger hive, are known as the One Mind, and it was by their combined will that the primal was summoned. Those who reside in this smaller hive, though, are all Vath, or the non-mind. One who, for reasons which yet escape me, seem to have been excluded from the telepathic bond which connects their Ganath counterparts. Thus are the Vath ignorant of the One Mind's thoughts and intentions. And of the nature of their own god, in summary, we have wasted our time. Not so. Perilous though it may be, the Vath did furnish us with one certain method of approaching the primal, as sacrifices. Should we allow ourselves to be captured in the environs of the colony, the Ganath will bring us before their deity to make an offering of our souls. Oh, actually, no, before we do that, let's see what everybody else has to say. As we did meet, I begin to wonder whether no mind meant brainless. Apparently not. All rest upon the destruction of the Ganath's god. If we must surrender ourselves for sacrifice to approach the abomination, freely will I do it. Breaking into hives. To review the plan. Forgive me, but let us be clear about what it is that you propose. You mean to say you would deliberately provoke the Ganath, surrendering yourself into what might generously be termed their custody, and then wait until their god arrives to claim your soul? Aye, well, that fairly well describes my plan. You will join me in this endeavor, will you not, heroine? Judging by the great risks you took to prevent the summoning of Saint Shiva, you are not a man to err on the side of caution. Would that I could fight at your side, warrior of light, but the power of the dragon is no protection against primal influence. Forgive me, but I must remain here with Master Alfino. Then it is settled. Erwin, you and I shall challenge the guards at the entrance to the colony. Once the hive is roused, we shall feign a brief show of resistance, and then allow them to take us prisoner. Just gonna walk right off into that, huh? Great. I mean, I love that plan. Estinian's words stung me more than I care to admit. It would seem that I have begun to take your victories for granted. Do be cautious, my friend. I would be curious to test my lance against the beast tribe's god, but I cannot risk falling under his sway. Tell me of the battle upon your return, warrior of light. Sure. Onward to... oh, what's the expression? Hell or perdition? That doesn't sound right. Well, to death or glory. Wow, it sure is fucking dark out here. What the fuck? What an ominous sight to approach. ITE and IGT. IGHT. What? I knew that was coming out wrong. Wow, I cannot tell what we are approaching, and that is an ominous feeling. And there's a World of Warcraft-ass site over there. Some purple sky horse just galloping through. Well, this looks like a hive to me. I guess they must fly, making it reasonable to build doors up here. The Ewoks didn't build outward-facing doors in their tree towns. So how long is this little segment going to be? Because I think we might be already coming up on the conclusion, which might well be the conclusion for this zone. Ganath drone. Intruders, your lives are forfeit. Well, I do hate that. I hate it when my life is forfeit. I don't like it to be on the line at all. Why was it even on the table? I gotta improve my bargaining techniques. Izela. The Overmind must by now be aware of our intrusion. Let us press on into the hive and ensure that we have our host's undivided attention. Where are we at? Come on, Izela. Find our way deeper into the hive. Looks like it's up. Ooh, big circle. Who's waiting for us here? Kill the intruders. The Elixir have come to this system in pursuit of... what is it they call a traveler? What do the hive call the traveler? Great machine. That's what it is. Wait for Izela deeper in the hive. Why did we split up? Seems like not splitting up would have been the wiser choice. Can they do characters following characters out in the world? I think maybe they can't. That should be sufficient. If we did not have our host's full attention before, we must surely have it now. Our audience with the primal may be granted soon after our capture. Pray advise me once you have steeled your mind for the battle to come. Yep, I'm ready. I'm ready. I think we're... well, hang on. Are there two confrontations? Well, we'll see. I have no idea. I don't know. Lord of the Hive. Well, that sounds promising. You are prepared then. We shall see where this goes. We shall see. Hold here, Long Point. When the next Ganath come, we offer no resistance. Do. Surrender, intruders. There is no escape. Okay, sure. We love to do that. I'm always yielding, and not just to pedestrians in the crosswalk. Enough, we surrender. We throw ourselves upon the mercy of your God. Good thing they don't get much news up here. They might recognize a couple of notorious figures in the two of us. They seem eager to proceed. Good. When they take us before their lord, pray leave matters to me. If what I know of summoning rituals holds true, I shall be well placed to act. Mark the sound of the river rushing through the ravine behind us. Passing loud, is it not? I imagine the noise would serve to mask our escape should we need to withdraw temporarily. But you are prepared, are you not? I do hope so. If we were to be dragged away for sacrifice while you were haggling over the price of potions, I should not be amused. They're just telling you, you can get out of here if you're not up to what we're up to. So why would they need to summon him, though? Aren't they keeping him around? This is something that's always a little confusing. Try to escape and we will break your fleshy legs. Try to escape and we will break your fleshy legs. Though I dismissed Master Alfino's concerns, I confess that I did wonder how the Ganath might treat their prisoners. Happily, it would seem they are not wont to harm sacrifices, nor even disarm them. Plainly, they imagine their god invulnerable. The plan goes better than expected. Maybe when a primal exists, it becomes an imminent potential and can still kind of blip in and out of being, even though it is technically summoned. Like the hard work is done, and you just need to conjure it back, and it's still there being a knot in the universe, even when it's not actually manifest. I should ask Rook about that, actually.
Now we have but to wait.
But to wait, eh? Cool.
O Lord Ravana, master of the sacred blades, wrath of the colony, conqueror of the world, hear our prayer. Pray grant unto your devoted children the gift of your divine presence.
Yeah, because Ravana should already be summoned, right? So, like, does he just comes and goes, I guess? Like, they summon him repeatedly? Because if they're summoning him repeatedly, then putting him down won't do much good, because they're only going to lose the energy that they lost for that one summoning anyway. It's like we would need to deplete their crystal stock, right? Inevitably, that is what's required. Fuck off, cops. Oh, is someone's property in danger? Dramatic. Maybe they, like, reclaim some of the energy of the summoning if the summon is dispersed without being murdered. Why, look.
Strength to the colony. Speak and I shall listen.
Big Power Rangers enemy on the energy on this one.
O glorious general, we have captured intruders and would make unto you an offering of their life's blood.
It's so weird to have a god whose position is like generalship.
These feeble feeble fleshlings dared to invade Natlands.
Oh, you don't pronounce the G at all? Fine. I guess Ravana would know, wouldn't he?
Hear me, Lord Ravana. My companion and I did not come to contest your children's territory. We wished only to learn the reason you wage war against the dragons.
Thou wouldst flirt with death merely to satisfy thy curiosity. Wherefore should the glorious conquests of the Nath concern thee so, Elezen?
I think dragons are hot. I think dragons are hot.
Mayhap thine own kind struggle against the worms fareth poorly, and thou art desirous of a pack.
That would have been a much better approach to take here, actually. We didn't even think about that.
We crave no alliance, Lord Ravana. Only peace. We would bring an end to our war with the dragons. Yet so long as they remain embroiled in this conflict with your children, our goal shall remain out of reach. Never before have the Nath risen up in such numbers, and never yet with you at their head. Why do you lead them to war?
Thy question hath no meaning. To live is but to fight.
So, I guess you could see the primals as, in some ways, manifestations of a certain ideology, or at least they can be.
Their strength in the shadow of thy ceaseless conflict.
Yeah, it sure sucks out there because you turned it into a war zone for 1,000 years.
Slain, and their territory secured. And by such fervent prayers am I now given form and purpose.
As I feared, your very existence is an obstacle to our goal. Since you are so fond of fighting, we challenge you, Lord of the Nath. And should we emerge the victors, I would have you swear to withdraw your soldiers from Dravanian soil.
Thou art bold indeed to risk thy fleshy hide so readily.
Hey, only got one hide, might as well go gambling it. Everyone dies.
Fourfold Master of the Blade, to accept thy challenge. But should I emerge the victor, I would have thee swear to serve in mine army till thy last breath is spent. Do you accept?
I do. And I believe the first bout is mine.
So I guess really this isn't even doing any. We're not really here to kill Ravana in the sense of not being able to summon him. We're here to fight Ravana to extract from the Nath the agreement that they will no longer summon him. Big fancy cutscene time. I guess when you
What is this? A god clad in flesh?
Is aught amiss, my lord? Thou wilt not break thy word, I trust.
she was the ringer.
Mine oath is unbending as steel, little goddess. Thy ruse will but add to mine enjoyment.
Okay, here we go. time for some action sequence. Rook has no idea what I'm talking about. Rook thought that this guy was already summoned. I think my interpretation is correct, that he is not. He doesn't persist. He's only ever around for a short while. Yes, use those moves you used on us. Rook says, though, maybe they can switch to ether form whenever they want. So maybe that wasn't a summoning proper, but it was like he just decondenses, as we also had originally thought. I don't know, the kaiju fight's pretty cool. Should have put some buildings for them to knock down in here. Ooh. Uh-oh. Whoa. Ooh, she's not down.
I thought myself stronger. Mayhap with more crystals?
There is always room to pour more into the vessel of faith. Yipe! Well, I sure hope that she replaced and didn't augment your body when you summoned her, because otherwise you got real gut shot there, lady. I mean, I beat her, so I'm not that concerned about you. Still good showing. Nice work, animation department. Sorry, I was a little distracted to provide running commentary there. But what do I ever have to say, really, about the battle scenes, except that they're all pretty neat?
A warrior, then. Good. Mayhap that will provide more sport than thy feeble companion.
What was that? Almost sounded like thunder, but very strange profile to it. Yeah, so he can kind of come and go as he pleases. That lends credence to the he just wasn't lingering in material form. Could well be the case. Enter the inner chamber. You okay there, Zayla? We still need you. Forgive me, I was overconfident. Well, I mean, what were you gonna do? What have you boys got to say? The wrath of the colony is undefeated. Victory into the Ganath. Not Ganath, just Nath. Nath priest. The wrath of the colony is undefeated. Victory to the Nath. Alright, well, I have actually done this one legit. It was pretty cool, but in the interest of not waiting on a pop, let's just bop in there. Boop. This will be a great test for our frame rates. This will be a good test of our audio balance in combat. And yeah, I think we'll learn a lot from this. It will be visually striking, even if the limited commentary that I provide is a bit overwhelmed. Yeah, this is a really cool encounter. The amount of like love that goes into the visuals on this and to selling it as a real fucking thing is just so far beyond anything that World of Warcraft gets in terms of its storytelling. And I hate to constantly compare it. I haven't played Warcraft regularly since like Wrath. I haven't really been a fan since then. And really, yeah, basically Wrath was the last time I was in the game 10 years ago now. But it is I think it's very reasonable to draw the comparisons. Yeah, look at that bad bug. Hello. Duty commenced. Let's see if we can do this one solo. Anything for you, Ravana. So, as I recall, we gotta remember to apply our dot as well. As I recall, this guy's big deal is that he's going to do a couple of different super moves, some of which involve knockback, pushing us to the edge of the arena, which yeah, there's Requia's shot. I remember my key bindings. I'm a good boy. Spare me no quarter, he says. He's so fancy. Furious as a blaze. Here's one of his moves. Goring blade fell off there. Let's get it back on. Zoop 2. Oh, he's doing his ballet. What an incredible soundtrack, too. He's pointing his weapons both directions. The calm before the slaughter. So which one's this gonna be? Perish? Prelude to slaughter. Oh no. Let's get out of them flames. What was that? Beef? Did he shout?
Fear my blades.
I'm not gonna fear your blades, buddy. I'm just gonna treat them with the appropriate respect. Understand the blade, but do not dread it. Just dumping all of our cooldowns here. Here comes Slaughter again. Subjugation. Let's get a couple seconds of jacked music volume just in case it's too low. He comes back down. Looks like he's put some kind of mark on me. Will I yield? Never. Let's heal ourselves though, because we can't see our health. We're doing fine. We are doing just fine. Take wing, ye souls of war. The seeing tail. Really gotta watch for these spell. Oh, there's butterflies. We have to kill these butterflies, actually. Let's obliterate them, why don't we? We have to not kill the butterflies? I don't know which. It seems safer to kill them, since we don't know. In the absence of certainty, we may as well put them down. Butterfly back. The butterfly's back movement. Moongana. What's your deal, milady? Spirit Ghana. Okay, looks like nope. Still got some more butterflies though. You just get them with the AoEs. Just get our dot back on this bad boy at least. I don't know if there's any mechanics that would wipe us if we don't handle the butterflies, but you know, just wanna do my part. Take it seriously. Should we turn the music back down again? We'll see where that goes. Where's fight or flight? Bloody Fuller. Oop, shit. Fucked up our rotation even with our... Whoa! We seem to be in the sky. Oh, I'm rejoicing alright. This got me elated. Requiescat. The hive walls begin to crumble. So this is where it gets very dangerous. I think we get knocked off the edge if we are not careful. So let's finish this shit as fast as we can. What's he doing? Oh, whoa. Okay, we have to make sure to position ourselves such that we don't get knocked off. The lyrics are completely absurd in this one. Yeah, that could easily have ended our little run here if we were a little bit less cautious. Orbs. The Rose of Conquest. Holy shit. Dramatical. Got all our shit going on. Everything looking good. You're gonna go down, Ravana. You're doing a directional attack? Yeah, don't hit me with that, please. I don't want any part of that, whatever it is. Looks bad. Looks dangerous to me. Oops. Accidentally sentineled. Let's, break out the invulnerability for Swift Slaughter just for fun. Yeah, we're invulnerable, though. You can't hurt us with your slaughter, no matter how fast.
Fear my blades.
Oh, I do fear them.
Thou hast bested me.
Yep. No more bug.
Thus does the sacred rite of combat proclaim the victor. I lay my blades at thy feet, child of man.
This is the problem with summoning your weapons of mass destruction from cultural myth. They may end up being honorable. So, thinking about it, what that would mean would be we are really... Oh, but they're all going to know instantly, right? So they're all going to know instantly this happened because of their hive mind. So effectively, the hive mind instantly has its perception of what their god is and what it's willing to do changed completely. Their god is no longer willing to be summoned for on these terms because of this battle. If it were humans, they would need to spread the story, but that is not necessary with the Narsh or whatever they're called. The Narfs don't need that handicap. So we just effectively made an agreement with their entire society via a simulation of their god, but by definition one that perfectly matches their idea of what their god is. That's pretty cool. That really holds together as a premise.
I do begin to see why so many place their faith in you.
It's that protagonist energy that I radiate, you know? It's the unkillability of us.
Savagery, I do not think Ravana one to break his word. Provided the dragons do not trespass upon Nath lands, they should have little to fear of the Primal's biting blades. We have done well, have we not? Come, let us return to Vidofnir and share these glad tidings.
I love to spread the good news. Whoa. Ooh, it's a lady.
Bringer of light.
Eageryorn.
With every mortal heart that succumbs to fear and fury, another voice is joined to the chorus, beseeching divine succor.
You're just accelerationists, you fucking
At their
dipshits.
bidding,
I'm not sure
warring
accelerationism
gods will
works.
shake the firmament, and your world will be consumed in the swelling storm of chaos.
I just listened to a podcast earlier that talked about how had FDR lived for his 4th term. I didn't even realize he was elected to a 4th term. I'm a goofus. You see how well high school history stuck with me. I thought it was only 3 terms. I mean, he was only 3 terms, but he was elected 4 times. He died a couple months into his 4th. But if he'd survived and remained strong and on the course that he'd been on, he may well have completely changed the course of the 20th century. He was, because of his position as a coddled scion of capital, he was, but this is the way that it was described in this podcast, sufficiently sure that he would end up, that he would not, be deprived in whatever order precipitated, that he would be willing to deal with communist Russia, and that he may not have adopted the Cold War stance that his totally inadequate successor did. It's, I'm not really a big fan of great man theory, but I mean, the reality is we have invested the office of the president with great power, and sometimes an individual can have great impact. And unfortunately, it is often for the worse. Izela, never since we first fought have I seen you drop on the full extent of your power, and ever from afar till this day. You were a marvel to behold, Erwin. Well, this time we rejoined our companions. They will be eager to hear the tale and to continue our journey. I think that she was expecting her plan to work, and I think that it's probably affected her, both her image of herself and of us, that it didn't. I hadn't been really thinking about the fact that, of course, we have kicked her ass before, and that must really just tailor every thought that she has about us, that here is a person who is wielding this power that doesn't even appear to be divinely inspired, although of course we kind of know that it is. I mean, she knows that we have the Echo and that that's divine, but she also knows the Echo alone does not grant her omnipotence the way that our protagonist status, as sort of justified by our connection to Heidelin, gives us. He must be a very enigmatic figure in her mind. Like, we came and we trounced her, and now here we are trying to achieve her goal for her, with her. And we're not even an asshole about it. Wait, where's Alphino? They didn't need Alphino, did they? Alphino's it was her I was looking for. He's right there. Yeah, man's got his fine then, impressive warrior of light. Yeah, I should fucking think so. Just went fucking iced. Forgive the pun, milady. Erwin, Lady Sailor, thank the 12. Turn off that auto scroll, please, because Lord Ravana, you say. How curious the Vath never mentioned his name. Are you quite certain he will keep his word? There was honor beneath his savagery. Bring up the point that I just made, that the whole hive mind saw it. That we survived the encounter at all was a miracle I must attribute to the long point. Never did I doubt you, warrior of light, unlike some. Wait, forgetting what we're doing. Never did I doubt you, warrior of light, unlike some. You were gone so long that Master Alphinoia and I lost his wits with worry, fretting like a maid for a sweetheart he was. Justinian, was that truly necessary? Not truly necessary, but certainly true. I have to admit, as much as I dislike him overall, I do think he's a well-drawn character. I just don't like that character. Like, I find if I knew him, I would not like him, but he is definitely well presented. Just to clarify that point. What matters is that the primal is banished and our promise fulfilled. We should return to Vidofnir without delay. Lest you forget, this was but a means to secure an audience with the worm as Hrzvelger. The dog's minions will not be halted by idle chatter. Come now, we must make every moment count. You are unkind, Destinian. For all his experience and intellect, Alphino is still but a boy. Yeah, what's everybody got to say? It is natural for him to feel concerned for his companions. You should have seen the boy fretting. 'Twas a sight to behold. Tease him no more. Master Alphino is to be applauded for his sense of responsibility. Given his years, 'tis little wonder the burden weighs heavy on his shoulders. Yeah, why are you such a fucking asshole, Estinian? Shut the fuck up. Leave Alphino alone. You are always welcome in Lost Astvath, Hunter. Your generosity is very appealing. Yes, very appealing indeed. Yes, they are Lixney, see? We did not know that your kind hunted gods. The Vath stand in awe of your deeds. We Vath work together and live in freedom. I pity the one mind that they know not the beauty of freedom. We've seen that one, but Siblaram must have seen it. Nope, that's just talking about his name again. Yeah, it seems very hard for you folks. The hunters who seek only words. I have many to share. Come and listen. What do you do here? What once was known to all is now known to one. I record the words of the non-mind so that none may be lost. The one mind has no need of chronicles. Young or old, all is known. But the non-mind must learn, must teach, must grow. It is strange to be with so many but alone. But this has ever been our way, yes. If hunters can preserve the wisdom of their elders, then so can we. It's ever been our way. You folks cut yourself off from the nature of your minds. It's incredible that you function at all, separated from the colonial mind. Kind of sad, honestly. It'd be nice if you could, I don't know, redevelop it on an opt-in basis. The one mind, speak with one voice, one will. When that connection is lost, when one is made Vath, one must find a new voice. Some will lie and be found and cast out. Others will wander and never return. Those who can endure come to Loth Astvath, the hive of the non-mind. We who have been severed are similar but different. We have preferences. It can be difficult, but also interesting. Very interesting. Oh. I'm sure I've told this story before, but I once liked to imagine Americans in some now surely never going to exist future using a national health service and breaking down in tears because they simply could not understand that they didn't owe any money when getting treatment. And the idea that this defining worry of all Americans' lives was just gone, and they would never have to worry about it again. And they lived in a whole new world now where they could evaluate all of their needs, how their relationship with work could change completely. The idea of losing their job has lost this particular horror. That such a profound experience moving from one world into another, reshaping everything. And for these Vath, they find themselves in a hard situation that they are not evolutionarily suited for. But In being here, everything is different now. There is struggle, sure, but there's also a world to see as themselves. This is not to sneer at the hive mind. It's a way to operate a state, I suppose. Seems like it's natural for them. But it does seem too like they have enough processing power as individuals to find some real pleasure in the small things that all of us, as individuals, take for granted. Let that be enough for now. I'll probably roll right on, but it seems like this is the perfect place to cut this video. And so I will see you soon.